A day in the life of the Democratic Party. Democrats began by celebrating a landslide victory in a special election.
This is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump's reckless agenda.
A 50-point win in a Virginia congressional district that certainly leans Democratic, but normally wouldn't have gone Democratic by quite that margin, may be a harbinger of things to come. Democrats are currently favored in the governor's race in Virginia, the governor's race in New Jersey, and the mayor's race in New York City, where even if the front-running socialist candidate does not win, although that does currently look quite likely, the leading alternative is former Democratic New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. So the likelihood is a Democrat becomes mayor either way. So there are a lot of things that are looking up for the Democrats simply because they're the only alternative to President Trump and the Republicans if and when, at the time of the midterm elections, Trump remains unpopular. However, the release of Kamala Harris's new book about her 2024 campaign shows that Democrats are having difficulty moving beyond 2024, are still relitigating a lot of the issues and party divisions of the past 2 years, and haven't really fully turned the page on Harris and Joe Biden, who brought them to defeat at the hands of Donald Trump last year. But then another factor that Democrats have to contend with came into play with the assassination of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
While the overwhelming majority of mainstream Democratic elected officials responded to the Kirk murder with the proper rhetoric about the need to move away from political violence, and in many cases were quite respectful of Kirk and his family, you see on the House floor that there are some tensions even among elected Democrats over how to respond and over how deferential to be to the loss of a major and very important conservative figure at the hands of an assassin. But the bigger problem for Democrats that was exposed by the Kirk murder is the anger that exists in the Democratic base. Many rank-and-file Democrats and progressives had much harsher things to say about Kirk in the aftermath of his death.
Those rejoicing in his death are receiving rapid retribution.
I think the only thing that went wrong that day was that Trump wasn't standing behind him getting a secondhand bullet.
From a DA in Montana to college professors, Democratic candidates, and lots of teachers.
The guy who made a living spewing evil, hate-filled rhetoric died from getting shot right in the voice box. I might be 1% less atheist today.
These are obviously very extreme manifestations of this anger, and it is hard to know how representative online phenomena, TikTok videos, Reddit threads, things of that nature really are of broad swaths of the Democratic electorate. But we are seeing many of these videos receive thousands and even millions of views, and a very high number of them are being produced. And they're seemingly being produced by very just average, run-of-the-mill people, nurses, teachers, disturbingly government employees in many cases. So to what degree can Democrats, as they try to tamp down the rhetoric of some of their own followers, how does this affect them going into the midterm elections and beyond? How do they manage the anger of their coalition, even if parts of that coalition don't manifest their anger in ways that have the level of violence that we saw with the murder of Charlie Kirk? And there also has to be a certain degree of concern about how many of these people who feel this way will act upon these feelings. And you don't really need very many of them to have a major political and social and cultural problem. For Democrats, this could also be an electoral problem. How do they keep their feelings about Trump and their belief that Trump somehow represents something so far out of the political mainstream that it is a threat to the existing system of government, while reconciling that with basically treating him as a normal politician and preaching nonviolence to their own troops. If you're watching us on social media, comment down below. Let us know what you think.